Hey there, my name is Amanda, also known as Ketoginja. I've lost 120 pounds on keto and I've been maintaining that weight loss for well over a year. Today, I want to talk about 5 reasons why you may not be losing weight on keto. It's a question that I get in my inbox constantly, people asking about what they're doing wrong or what they can do differently to really up the weight loss. So I wanted to talk about some common pitfalls with keto and 5 reasons why you might not be losing weight or you might not be losing as much weight as someone else. Number 1 is consuming too many carbs. Now, this sounds really obvious. If you've researched a keto diet, you know that there is a low carb threshold in which each body can be in ketosis, which means burning fat instead of burning glucose. So basically the difference between running on fat or running on sugar. Now, if you're doing lazy keto, this means that you are not tracking your macros. And what happens for some people is that they think they're eating super low carb, but they're not losing weight. So what happens is if you're not tracking your carbs, you're probably consuming hidden carbs and hidden sugars without realizing it. So if you've been doing keto and you haven't been tracking and you're not losing weight, you might want to consider using a carb tracking app like Carb Manager or MyFitnessPal to really make sure that your carbs are where they need to be. Everybody's threshold for low carb weight loss is different. The majority of people need to consume around 20 net carbs per day to lose weight in ketosis. But some people can eat as much as 50 net carbs and still lose weight and be in ketosis. Everyone is different, and that number is going to change from person to person. So you definitely have to find your own number, like what your own number is. I can tell you that I lose weight even if I'm consuming somewhere around 30 net carbs per day. But if I go any higher than that number, I will either plateau and not lose anything, or I might even gain weight. So that's my personal number. I do not currently track, but if I am trying to meet a certain goal, or I feel like I am not losing weight, or maybe I've gained a couple of pounds, I will track, and lo and behold, every time I'm consuming carbs that I didn't really notice were there. So number 1 is definitely make sure that you're not eating hidden carbs and hidden sugars. So if you're standstill with your weight loss, you might want to check on your carb numbers. Number 2 kind of goes against number 1, but let me explain. Number 2 is maybe you are not eating enough. Sounds crazy, right? I find a lot of times when weight loss stalls or plateaus, if I up the amount of fat that I'm eating, I will start losing weight again. This is especially true if you're someone who has lost a good amount of weight on keto and you've plateaued at a number that you haven't quite met your goal yet, but you're losing much slower than you were when you had a lot of weight to lose. If this fits the bill for you, up your fat a little bit and see if you can't get the scale moving in the downward slope direction. I find that the longer you do keto, you tend to be full off a lot less food, but your body still needs the fat in the food to be able to run and operate its best. So if you've plateaued, try upping your fats a little bit, and I bet you'll get the scale moving in the right direction. For me, the easiest way to up my fat, I like to do a bulletproof coffee, or I'll have an extra snack of cheese, and that really gets the fat up and I start losing again. I hope it works for you too. This has been pretty, I won't say tested advice because I'm not a nutrition professional. I am just a person who has a fondness for keto and losing weight this way and maintaining weight this way. So I am not your physician, but I can tell you that if I plateau on the scale and I up my fats, the number goes down. Number 3. You may be eating too much processed food, foods that are not nutrient dense. Now, here is what I mean by that. A keto diet consists of so many different options for food. There are a lot of really wonderful pre-packaged options. Think like snacks and treats and all of that. But if you are living on those snacks and treats and you are not eating whole nutritious foods, things like meats and vegetables and butter, all of those healthy non-packaged foods, you might see the scale slow. Here is why. All of those foods, even if they are ketogenic, meaning they're low carb, low sugar, sugar-free, they still have chemicals and they still have processed ingredients. They've still been processed in a factory. Everyone is different from person to person. So there could be your neighbor, let's call her Jenny, that is able to eat her meats and cheeses, but also eats an exorbitant amount of prepackaged keto snack foods. She's losing weight like crazy. Good for Jenny. Then you might have Samantha, who lives next door, who is not as lucky as Jenny. Okay, that means that Samantha has to be a lot more strict. Maybe she eats meat, cheese, veggies, a little bit of strawberries, and she's able to have a keto dessert or a keto snack food once a week and lose weight. Not everyone is able to eat keto treats to their heart's content and still lose weight. This is a very individualized thing. So if you find that you are not losing steadily or perhaps even gaining, you're going to want to look at your processed food, whether it's keto or not. It still might not be the absolute best part of your keto diet, especially for weight loss. So eating too many snacks and processed food is definitely number 3. Number 4 kind of piggybacks on number 3. Number 4 is hidden calories. There is a lot of debate in the keto community versus calories in, calories out. I'm sure you've heard from some keto channels that calories don't matter. Some say calories do. I fall somewhere in the middle of that. Now, you do not have to eat this rigid, restrictive diet, okay? You don't have to eat 800 calories a day to lose weight. It's not like that anymore. You don't have to starve yourself of calories. On most days, I eat anywhere between 1,500 calories to 2,000 calories. That's an average number for me. I can still lose weight on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of the keto-friendly treats and snacks, things like nuts and cheese, they have a lot of calories, okay? So what happens is if you're just mindlessly eating nuts and cheeses, your calories are stacking up like crazy. So try really hard to get the bulk of your calories from your meals and not from little snacks and such. Because if you're somewhere in the 3,000 calorie a day mark, you might be doing that 20 net carbs a day, but if your calories are sky high, for some people, that will affect their ability to lose weight. Now, the flip side to that, going back to Jenny and Samantha, the neighbors, Jenny might be able to eat 5,000 calories a day and 20 net carbs and lose weight like crazy. Samantha, if she did the same thing, might gain weight. Everybody is so different. So I'm just trying to remind you that if you find yourself in a situation where you're not losing weight or you're gaining weight, even though you think you're doing all the right things, some of these things might kind of help you assess what you're doing. Number 5, this one's my favorite. Don't expect a miracle. Do not expect a miracle. Every story that you read about this person that lost 30 pounds in their first week on keto, or they lost 100 pounds in 4 months, that is not the reality for most people. I lost 100 pounds in under a year. Yes, I did. It was right around 11 months when I hit the 100-pound mark, but I also had well over 100 pounds to lose. If I only had 30 pounds to lose, that probably would have taken me a year. This is a slow and steady process for most people. If you are eating the ideal keto foods and you are doing your absolute best, you should be losing anywhere from 1 pound a week to 3 pounds a week. There are people that do everything right and lose 0.01 pounds a week, or maybe they're even up on the scale from time to time. It doesn't mean that you are doing it wrong. It's really important to track your measurements, the measurements of your body, okay? You could gain weight 1 week, but still have lost inches. So don't expect the miracle of the woman that you see on the magazine at the checkout at the grocery store, okay? Yeah, she lost 100 pounds in 5 minutes. Is that going to happen for you? Most likely not. But do you feel better? Are your clothes fitting better? don't obsess about that number on the scale. I'm not saying don't pay attention to it. I am very numbers motivated when it comes to weight up and down on the scale. I'm one of those people that weighs every day. I just like to see what's going on. But if it's triggering for you to do that, try to focus on a lot of those non-scale victories, like clothes fitting better, your rings are sliding off and on really easy, you have a lot of energy, you're sleeping better. If all of those things are in place, I'm willing to bet that you are doing it right. So don't make the number on the scale the most important part of this journey, because all of the other stuff is so much greater anyway. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. I hope that I helped encourage you today to stick to your ketogenic diet, and I hope I gave a little bit of insight into some of the little pitfalls and traps and things that you might be falling into and why you may not be losing weight or not losing enough weight on the keto diet. I am so happy that you tuned in today, and I hope to see you guys very soon. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you'll consider subscribing. We do a lot of really indulgent keto food and recipes and full day of eating and a lot of our family life. Have an absolutely amazing day.